Does everyone have spirit guides? And if we do, how do we connect with them? In this video, I'm sharing my story of how I became aware of my guides and some super helpful tips you might want to know so that you can connect with yours. If you haven't subscribed yet, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button, then hit the bell. That way you'll be notified when I release a new video. I release recordings of my readings so you can catch me in action, spiritual how-tos, meditations, and so much more. First things first, yes, everyone has spirit guides. It's also important to know that in my experience, guides make you aware of them when you're ready and when necessary. You probably won't ever be aware of every single one of your guides because there's likely a lot more than you realize. All to say, don't get down if you go to sit and connect with your guides and you don't become aware of much. The first way of connecting with your guides that I recommend is a guided meditation. A guided meditation that focuses on connecting with your spirit guides is really powerful, and it tends to be one of the most powerful things to try for most people. It can be something recorded that you listen to, and in fact, if you'd like to try out my YouTube video, Sitting in the Power to Connect with Your Spirit Guides, you can definitely check that out. Otherwise, I took a class and had a tutor take me through a meditation to connect with my spirit guide live. And that was a really powerful experience for me as well. The second thing you can try is just sitting in the power on your own, building that mediumistic power, and then in your mind or out loud, inviting a guide or your guides in. So when you're sitting in the power, you want to think about first calming your body, relaxing it, and then you start to see that glow of energy within yourself expand upward and outside of your body. After you build that energy, you might think about a white light coming down that is the light of the spirit world, blending with your energy. This is really how you're building that mediumistic power and sitting in the power. And then at that point, you want to invite your guides in. Now, if you need help learning how to build that power or to sit in the power, you can check out my YouTube video, Sitting in the Power, Stronger Spirit Connection. Just sitting in the power in silence and not even inviting my guides in was how I first became aware of my guides. And it was an incredibly overwhelming experience. Now, it's different for everyone, but looking back, I can tell that when I became aware of my gifts, it just flooded in. Everything in my life had prepared me for the time when my mediumistic skills really became obvious to me. And it was clear to me and is clear to me that my guides were very ready to make me aware of them. So I had these moments of just feeling like I was actually craving time to sit in spirit, which I still feel sometimes. But as I first came into my gifts, I would live for any moment of free time that I had from my family to go upstairs into my office and try to sit for 20, 30, even 40 minutes. It was during this time that I first became aware of my primary guide, a woman. I got the name Jenny. I feel really connected to that. And I could tell that she was very smart, very strategic, and actually was a singer. And this wildly was validated to me when I took my first trip to Arthur Finley. My tutor at that time said, "You have a really powerful guide. She's a woman, she's strategic, smart, she's definitely a singer. Are you a singer?" And I was like, yes. So that was really validating for me, especially because sometimes getting spirit guides validated is not the easiest thing to do. Shortly after I became aware of Jenny, I became aware of a guide of mine named John, who gave me a much younger energy. Now, John for me is all about self-development and emotional support. This is a huge part of my life, and it's really wild because I had best friends named John. One was older, one was younger, as I went through college. And John, my spirit guide, showed me all of these memories of one of my first most painful breakups. And I could tell that he had been there with me, supporting me during that time. And all of a sudden, he showed me all these memories of all my John friends and that he was one more. And it was a really overwhelming experience. I wept for quite some time. And sometimes when your guides come in, you will feel that. You will feel overwhelming love and support that almost feels otherworldly, or you might get filled up with some kind of emotion. That really happens to me when my guides connect with me and they want to make me aware of something or help me understand something about myself or what's coming. About 4 or 5 months after that, I continued to sit in spirit. I do it so much. I probably sit in the power 3 to 5 times a week, and I'm really consistent about it. That was the time that I became aware of two more guides, both men. Lawrence is a guide that my tutor had spoke to me about, but I didn't become aware of him during my time studying residential at Arthur Findlay. It was months after when I came home that I very clearly heard Lawrence and understood what she had shared with me, that this spirit guide for me was all about presentational skills, being able to speak to large audiences, being able to use my words with eloquence, that he was really working because these were things that I was going to end up doing. And then lastly, Trell, and I actually got a last name for Trell Williams is another guide. And this guide is also a man, definitely a very spiritual, a very sacred energy, focused on lots of ritual from such a long time ago. And that is the piece that I feel a lot when I do feel sacred and ritualistic and like it's time for me to go within. So it's so interesting that I had a session with a different tutor after discovering these four guides and being aware of who they are. And she had said to me, you have four main guides that you're aware of right now. And I can see them all around you in a square because you sit in the power all of the time and they're watching and they're working with you and they work as a unit. Now there's tons of male energy here. Most of them are men. And so again, I've had a couple really incredible validating experiences with tutors about my guides. Now, the other thing I'd like to share really transparently, especially for those of you who are yearning for more from your guides or even just to get to know them and you don't feel like it's coming, since that time, there's been little else that they have shown me about themselves. And there's been little else that I have really felt called to ask for. To be honest, I shared this with another tutor at one time and I said, I don't have a lot more information. And to be honest, I don't feel like I need it. And I don't think they think I need it. And it was another validating time as well, where she had agreed that she felt that same thing. That's not to say that I don't constantly get downloads that feel very claircognizant about my next steps, my next actions to take in terms of this work and how I'm moving forward. I don't have a lot of time where I feel a lack of clarity. I feel constantly quite certain of exactly what I need to do next. And I do feel that those are my guides working with me to help me have the most seamless journey that I possibly can. There are a lot of important things to think about when you go to invite your guides in, and then I'm going to tell you two more ways that you connect with your spirit guides. But I want you to think about a couple of things. It's important that you are relaxed when you invite your guides in, that you are calm, and that you keep the expectations low and stay open to the experience. When it comes to any kind of mediumistic connection or building of power, it really is about relaxation and allowing something to happen. It's not something that you can force. It's something that you need to lean back and let come to you. That is my experience when it comes to connecting with my guides, building the power, or channeling spirit. Stay open to whatever experience you might have. And I will tell you that when I had that strong introduction to all of my guides, I was in a really good place of sitting down, getting comfortable, and being at a high vibration of excitement and saying, whatever is to be will be. Let's see what I experience this time. That is a wonderful space to be in when you go to connect with your guides. Have you connected with a guide or guides of your own? What can you share about that experience? Go ahead and comment below. Okay, another way to connect with your guides if you don't want to do sitting in the power or a guided meditation is to try automatic writing. What I do is the same kind of prep for sitting in the power or meditation. I might really relax myself, calm myself. I might say some kind of opening prayer, if you want to call it that. And then I often will be very clear. I'll set a clear intention. Who do I want to connect with and what do I want to ask? So in this case, you would say, I'm setting an intention to connect with a guide or my guides. And then you can choose a very simple open-ended question, such as, can I meet you? Are you there? And who are you? What do I need to know from you? So keep it open-ended. And then as you feel relaxed, I like to type on my computer rather than write because it comes out really quickly for me and I have less time to think. So I suggest getting on your laptop if you have one or a computer and just typing out without thinking. When you start to get information that you weren't aware of or that doesn't sound like you, I've had times where I use words in a certain context that is correct, but I actually didn't know the definition of them. And then I absolutely know that I'm channeling spirit or a guide, whoever I've asked to connect with for that automatic writing session. And lastly, if you want to keep it really simple, you can just ask your guides for a sign. The same way that you'd ask a past loved one for a sign, you can ask your spirit guides for a sign as well. Ask them to show you an animal, a number, or anything else you can think of that you'd like to associate with your guide or guides. And then give them time and trust. My guideline is generally a couple days to 3 weeks. It takes energy to bring things through to us. And remember, your sign doesn't have to be literal. So if you ask for a monkey, you probably won't see it in person if you are somewhere that monkeys don't exist unless you go to the zoo. Or maybe you'll see it on a billboard, in a book, or some other kind of picture. It could come across in conversation. I can promise you, no matter how aware or not aware you are of your guides, you have them. If you're interested in strengthening your clairs so you can speak to spirit, go ahead, download my free guide below. It's called 3 Easy Exercises to Strengthen Your Clairs and Speak to Spirit. I've also got a free training. It's called 3 Essential Practices to Strengthen Your Skills as a Medium. Both links are in the description of this video below. You can also check out mediumshipwithmel.com. Here you can book private readings, group readings, and you can check out my development circle if you'd like to learn right along with me. Don't forget to check out this video next. And if you like this video, give it a like, subscribe if you haven't yet, and hit that bell. That way you'll be notified the next time I release a new video about all things mediumship.